Hello out there, casual fanatics. Jeremy here, and welcome once again to Fun 5e Builds, where it is time now for the second of our 3d6 random builds. These are builds designed around the conceit that I will be rolling 3d6 in order. Now, for those of you who didn't see the first one that we did, I do kind of want to go over the rules here. They may have changed a little bit as I have decided to flesh them out a little bit better, and these should be the rules going forward, assuming that I don't somehow forget what the rules are in the future. So, rule number 1, I must roll 3d6 in order at least once. First off, no exceptions. That means I go straight down the line. Strength, constitution, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. I have to do that at least once. Second rule, no more than 2 stats will be a 6 or less unless I find it funny. Rule 3, I have the discretion to re-roll any ones if I so choose. And rule 4, at least one stat must be 13 or higher. Otherwise, well, there's just no point in making a character. So, with that in mind, let's get our dice roller set up here, and we'll do the thing. So, set up for D6, 3 of them, and get our, there we go. So, rolling for strength. Let's see what we got. 9 strength. Okay, I think I'll keep that. So 9. Rolling for dexterity. 15. Pretty good dex score. Constitution. 11. So far we've got a really speedy character with average strength and fairly good durability. Another 11 for intelligence. So there we go. There's that. Wisdom. 11. I don't like having so many 11s here. I may actually decide to re-roll depending on what I decide I want to do here. And charisma. 12. Okay. So, yeah, the 15, the 12, and the 9 I want to keep. This is a little too good, and it's a little too even. I kind of want to play around and do something a little more unorthodox with what we have here. So, I don't want to take too much out of Constitution, because if I do that, then it'll really take a hit to HP. Now we've got Dexterity, so we've got pretty good AC already. So I'm going to re-roll the Intelligence and the Wisdom. So starting with Intelligence. Well, this character is going to be dumb as a box of rocks. And re-rolling Wisdom. 17 Wisdom. Okay then. So the shape of the challenge emerges. We have a high dex character with we have a high wisdom, pretty good charisma, I'm thinking we may be going with a monk here. I'm thinking we may be making a monk. So monks, they are required to be lawful, so at least in most RPGs, so we'll stick with that. I kind of want to make an evil monk. You know, he's got a code of honor, but his code of honor is fuck you. So yeah, we'll go with that. And now for a name for this character. What would be a name for a good monk? Friar. I thought about calling him Friar Fuck, but that's for one thing that sounds wrong, and that's all right. So it's got to be something misspelled, something like edgy, because he's like the dark monk, the dark, mysterious, evil monk, man. He's all mysterious, man. So Friar Heidenberg. Friar Heidenberg. There we go. Okay. Lawful evil monk. Oh, what class do I want here? Well, since we got wisdom and dexterity being the main stats, we kind of want to do something along those lines. So let's take a look at our classes here and see what we've got. I kind of also want to possibly give a little boost to the strength, so we have something kind of middle road for strength. We've got a pretty high charisma too. It's tempting to kind of boost that up as well. So, ponder, ponder, ponder. I'm thinking maybe a drought, but I kind of want to see what else we've got here. Let's see. +2 to charisma, +1 to any 2 other stats for a half-elf. Tempting. +2 to constitution, +1 to wisdom. For a hill dwarf. Also tempting. Those extra hit points would be pretty good to have. +2 dexterity, +1 charisma for a lightfoot halfling. I don't know. I see halflings as kind of more of a jovial sort. I don't really see them as evil, with the exception of Gollum, but he was more chaotic evil. So, +1 to dexterity for a shifter. Stout halfling. +2 to dexterity, +1 to constitution. +1 to constitution, +2 to charisma for a Sylvari. +1 to strength, +1 to constitution for a Warforged. No, I've got it here. +2 to dexterity, +1 to wisdom, Wood Elf. So, can attempt to hide when only lightly obscured by foliage, heavy rain. Yeah, this guy wants to be able to fuck you up as much as possible. So yeah, we're gonna go with a Wood Elf. So we have a Wood Elf, and with our points the way that they are, again, we do want to take Monk. So let's see what options we've got here. We can take a monastic tradition. Make him a shadow monk. Because again, he's kind of evil. So, do we have anything we can take here? No, not really. All right, background. Background for Friar Heidenberg. Well, he's a monk, so being a hermit wouldn't be a bad of a thing. And so we'll get another language as a result. Medicine, now for him, because he's lawful evil, he can use that to heal you, or he can use it to make poisons. probably would have him make poisons. Alright, advancements and feats. Well, he's first level, so we don't have any that we need to worry about with that. So let's not do anything there. Alright. So we got 2 class skill choices that we can make. And he's already proficient in religion and athletics, acrobatics, history, and insight. So we don't need to do anything to those. Medicine and perception, he's already perfect. Well, those are the class skills. Oh, he's not already proficient in acrobatics and athletics. He is proficient in medicine and in perception and religion. So, yeah, we might want to go ahead and get athletics and acrobatics just because he's a monk. Those are useful skills to have. Yeah. Alright, so choices. Of course, everyone gets common. Since he is an elf, he gets elvish as well. We got 2 choices. One from the background. One from yeah. One from the race, one from being a monk. So since he's evil, I would think he would know abyssal and infernal, because those are kind of the demon voices, you know. One to understand his fellows, and the other to understand his enemy. And we have 1 tool for artisan's tools. Since we mentioned he can make potions or poisons as he so chooses, we will have him be an alchemist. So that sounds good. Oh, and we can give him a musical instrument as well. As soon as this lets me, I think I'm going to pick a dulcimer. No, wait, no. I know what I'm going to pick. The bagpipes. He's lawful evil. We have to give him one of the most evil instruments possible. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so equipment. Automatic starting equipment, short sword or any simple weapon. Well, see, the thing is, he's not really that big with strength, so we really want something that's going to be a finesse weapon. So something that's going to be dex based. So daggers, you know, can wield it either close range or as melee. Of course, we're going to give him unarmed strike because, well, he's a monk, so that's kind of par for the course. All right. 10 darts. All right. Now, monks usually don't use armor. They're usually just in cloth. So yeah, so we're not going to give him any kind of anything like that. Of course, we got to give him Dungeoneer's pack. We got to give him the darts, so as I can find it. You know, we're just gonna gloss over all that. Magic. Well, He doesn't have any magic spells because he's a monk. He uses monk abilities. He uses ki. He is not a spellcaster. Though I suppose he could multi-class into spellcasting. Maybe as a, possibly a cleric. So let's take a look at Friar Heidenberg and get the basics here and see what he's got. Armor class 13. Not great, admittedly. His primary saving throws are going to be in strength and dexterity, of course. Though, because of being a monk. Probably could have had a better strength, actually, now that I think about it. But, I wanted to keep that 9, so it's my own fault. He's not a very strong monk. He's a fast monk, but he's not a very strong one. Nice, +6 to perception and medicine. His religion is a flat 0. I don't know how that happened. Anyway. Passive investigation, 8. I don't think I've explained this before. Passive stats are 10 plus your modifier. So since we have a -2 modifier to intelligence, all intelligence checks are at -2. So if you take a passive one of those, like say a passive investigation check, it's 10 minus 2. This guy's not very smart. Thus the reason why he is evil. But passive perception is pretty good for first level. Attacks are all +5 to attack with a D4. Alright, let's see what all feats he has. Because he is an elf, he has dark vision. Dim light appears as brightness, and you can see in the dark, though not in color. Keen senses, Fey ancestry, which means you're immune to magical sleep and have advantage on saves versus charm. Nice willpower there. Trance. This has been the subject of debate I've seen on YouTube as far as things. Because you gain the benefit of a long rest using just 4 hours of meditation. This is something that's useful for not just the various different elf descended races like Eladrin and Drow and Wood Elf, Wild Elf, that kind of thing. It's also something that constructs use, such as Warforged. And some people have wondered if this means basically that you can have a 4-hour long rest for those characters. As far as I'm concerned, the answer is yes. If you only have elves or Warforged in your party. Otherwise, a long rest is still 8 hours. And even then, even though you do rest for 4 hours, you still might want to pick up some kind of light activity for the rest of the 4 hours to do, like keeping watch or something, because your DM may be a stickler for the 8-hour rule. That's my thoughts on it. Take it as you will. Mask of the Wild can hide only when lightly obscured by natural. When only lightly obscured by natural phenomena. Again, since he's a sneaky evil monk, he can slip into the rain and Alright. Unarmored defense without armor or shield. Your AC equals 10 plus Dex mod plus Constitution mod. Again, with his Constitution being a mere 11, that means his armor class is 13. If I'd have taken a class that boosted dexterity as well as or a race that boosted dexterity and Constitution, we could have gotten a little bit higher of an AC, but we ended up not doing that, and I sacrificed a point of AC. Dummy. Alright. Martial arts may use Dex instead of Strength for attack rolls with unarmed strikes and monk weapons. May use 1d4 instead of normal damage for unarmed strikes or monk weapons. When you attack with unarmed strike or monk weapon, your turn may take unarmed strike as a bonus action that turn. So actually, I guess we could have given him like a quarterstaff instead of daggers. But I kind of find for him being a lawful evil character that having the dagger just seems that much more insidious. So actually, that's all that there is for this character because again, he's not a magic user. So Friar Heidenberg is pretty much just that. He's a level 1 monk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him up a few levels and we'll see what we do with him there. So let's give him a few more levels of monk, shall we? Let's make him... Okay, so see, now here's where the monastic tradition comes in when you have levels 3 of monk. Let's make him level 6. That seems like a pretty good middle of the road level. And of course, that's when the monastic tradition comes in. So now that we have him at level 6, we have the capability to make a selection for what we want to do with his stats. So what we're going to do is we're going to boost up his constitution and or do I want to give him a feat? No, I'm going to do stat boost. Boost up his constitution and his dexterity. So he's got a little more AC. Alright. Anything else we can pick here? Nope. Okay. So, and of course we can't do anything more with equipment, so actually let me see if I can find those charts again. I would have thought darts would have been in there, but I guess not. Oh well. So let's see what he's got now. All right, moving him up to level 6. You can see because of the boost that we gave to his constitution and because his dexterity has gone up, we now have an armor class of 15. Still not fantastic. Also, as you level up in 5e, your proficiency bonus, what gets added on to various different skills, goes up as well. So passive investigation is still 8. That's terrible. So his attack bonus actually now has gone up to +7, and his unarmed strike has the attack dice has leveled up to a d6. So it's doing a little more damage there. And some of the feats that we've got here that are new. Now he has key points that he can use. 6 key points, to be precise. He can use his flurry of blows to do make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action, or spend a key point to dodge, spend a key point to disengage or dash. Unarmed movement, when not using any armor shield, your movement increases by 15 feet. Okay, that's something that I actually wanted to move here, because his base movement for his class was, if I remember correctly, 20 feet. In fact, his base speed is 35. But since he is not using an armor or shield, his movement increases by 15 feet, which means basically this guy can dash anywhere you want him to go. Can run any way you want him to go. Now that he has the monastic tradition shadow arts, spend 2 key points to cast Darkness, Dark Vision, Pass Without Trace, or Silence without material components, and you gain the minor illusion cantrip. And we'll take a look into those spells here in a little bit. Deflect missiles. He can slow fall, gets an extra attack, and stunning strike. Can stun. Key empowered strikes, now unarmed strikes, are counted as magical. And the other bit from the shadow arts, shadow step. From space in dim light or darkness, spend bonus action to teleport up to 60 feet in another space in dim light or shadow. First melee attack you make before the end of the turn has advantage. So again, sneaky, zip in, get out. So, now we have spells to discuss. And those spells are Darkness. Magical Darkness fills 15-foot radius. Darkness and non-magical light does not penetrate. Magic light or second level or lower is dispelled. Of course, that goes in line with the previous feat that we had mentioned. The shadow step. You can actually create your own darkness to teleport into. Of course, dark vision. Willing creature receives dark vision out to 60 feet. Cannot use it on himself because he's already got dark vision, but that can help out his people be able to deal with, say, him casting darkness. Minor illusion. Creates sound or image until you dismiss it as an action or cast this spell again. Kind of a deflection tactic. Pass without trace. You and each creature you choose within 30 feet has plus 10 bonus to stealth checks and can't be tracked except by magic. Creatures with this bonus leave no traces of passage. That's kind of a skill spell, actually. And silence. No sound can be created or passed through a 20-foot radius sphere in range. Think of the Cone of Silence from Get Smart, except it actually works. And can't cast spell without verbal component, except Art of Shadow says otherwise. So you can just silent spell. So yeah, that's how you basically make an evil ninja. Really? That's the best way I can describe it. Friar Heidenberg is an evil ninja. So there you go. So that's 3d6 random. Again, we came up with a somewhat viable build for this. I'm actually kind of weirded out by that because this is the second time in a row that I haven't come up with something that was completely and utterly horrible. And I'm flabbergasted. When I started doing this, I was actually afraid that I was going to get, as David once joked, all threes for stats. And that might end up being, me having to create the family dog or something. But no, it's ended up coming up pretty well. I have two builds that are at least semi-viable, and I hope that they inspire you. By the way, you will notice I did go back to using the spreadsheet for this. The reason for that is I really just wanted to have everything up front and center, readily available, and have all the options viewable so that I can do these 3d6s regular. I will continue using the Beyond Tabletop or other methods for creating the other characters that I'm doing. But for this one, I really just wanted to use this because, again, I have all the options available there, and I can pick and choose much more easily from what the stats have available for me. So that's all that I've got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this. Please, if you have any ideas for fun 5e builds that you'd like to see below, things that you'd like to see me try and create, please put them down in the comments below. I'm always looking for some advice on that. Until next time, I'm Jeremy. This has been Fun 5e Builds on Casual Mode. Keep it casual, y'all. Camera off. Shutting down